Nothing reminds one more of God's sovereignty and his free access of the earth and you than when he hits you with a soul-crushing, soul-changing epiphany right in the beginning of your holiday to Turkey. Like, this was like a spiritual body slam, like telling me the state of my soul. I did not think it was that bad until God was like, yeah, you're about to get reflection and introspection during your holiday, and you didn't think anything was gonna happen. So I'm back from my holiday in Turkey, and I'm gonna take off my glasses because I want to look you in the face when I'm talking about my soul, look you in the eye. But I'm back from my holiday in Turkey, and this is future me sitting in the afterglow of the furnace of revelation, if that makes sense. And while the fires have slowly lessened, yes, the first spark and embers of the beginnings of my revelation still sit heavy on me. And I would like to talk about some things that I was revealed to. I'm convinced, I know from God, in Turkey about my soul and my holiday. And the reason this video feels very important to make, it's because it feels really, really aligned to something like my soul. And I'm not used to doing something like that. I don't feel like I'm really aligned with my soul at all. And because I had made the conscious decision that when I was going to go on this holiday, I would not post, I would not make any content, I wouldn't record anything. I'm just so burned out from YouTube, anything to do with technology. And I don't even have any, I have no want for it. I wasn't really looking forward to the holiday. It's something that I needed, but we don't always look forward to what we need. And I just thought, okay, it's whatever. And literally I had made that executive decision that I was not going to create any sort of videos or content. I was not going to record for that purpose sake. But literally on the very first day that we got there, like the first full day morning, I'm eating and I get like flashes of a video idea, like immediately. And it wasn't just like a scene. It was like, this is gonna happen and then it's gonna mean this. And I just knew the word, like the phrase introspection was coming up. It's not like it came up with like a sense, right? And I was like, oh no, I think that I am in for it. And in for it I was, because this reflection did not come forth like from me. I had no expectations and the reflection came anyway. And this is actually not one of the things that I learned, because there are 5 things that came to me, but this is just like a side something. So extra for you, that sometimes revelation comes in a place of no expectation. Introspection, deep self-reflection comes when you are not expecting anything, and I think you're just in a position to listen. So this is why this video feels very important, and I hope you stick around. And without further ado, let us dive into the 5 things that my soul made me aware of in Turkey. Stiff, stale, robotic. Once I was made aware that I had become like this, it was the kind of revelation that I couldn't unstick from myself. It stuck, it was everywhere. I began to realize it was through the way I've been acting for like ages. It was almost like I kind of stepped out of my own mind and I was kind of witnessing myself, and I was like, my soul has become stale. I've become really stale, and you guys would freak the life out of me. The staleness and stiffness was everywhere. And I have some things, I have notes, because I do not want to get this wrong. So if I read some of it off, I assure you, I think there's something to learn here. So I said, there was a stiffness was everywhere. Stiffness in speech, unnatural stiffness in motion, stiffness in behavior. I was robotic, like AI trying to figure out how to be human. And I actually would like to do a video on like reminding people that you are human, and you don't need help on how to be human. I know you might think that that's a stupid video. We don't need that. I didn't think my soul was that bad. You'd be surprised what you think you may or may not need. But anyway, at the hotel where we stayed, this is something that it hit me how it happened. So at the hotel where we stay, right, they do an all-inclusive breakfast. And so I'm going up, I'm like thinking, heck yeah, you know, we paid money for this. I'm gonna go to the hotel and have some breakfast, right? We get there, you guys, and I am telling you, I don't see a rasher, I don't see a hash brown, I don't see a sausage, I don't see any like familiar home breakfast in sight. And it kind of like shocks me, right?
Wow. This is so lovely. I've had so much of this yogurt, and I didn't think that all of this would be here, and it's really nice.
And if you just watch the videos, you can probably think, oh, you know, you're just being giddy, you're just cute, you're excited, and you're nervous. But I know, I look at those videos and I know the exact thing that I was thinking. I remember thinking like, there is nothing here that I kind of like, you know, want or anything. And I was so gobsmacked that there wasn't an Irish breakfast, right? And what freaked me out was the fact that I was gobsmacked. Like, I was confused at my gobsmackingness. Like, I was like, what do you mean? Like, why is this, like, because this jolted me, you guys. I was like, well, what am I gonna have for breakfast? I don't know what these foods are, you know? And I was thinking like, that something went up in my soul, like, ding, 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 this is not a good sign or something. Because all my life, I have always prided myself on being like a global citizen, right? I like the idea of feeling patriotic for a country, okay, whatever. But at the same time, while I'm on this earth, while I have the strength, the money, if I have it, to go out and travel, to see the world, you know, to let the world show itself, introduce itself to me. But you guys, I was really jostled by how jarred I was with the lack of familiarity. And that was when like a staleness came up. It was like, so wait, hold on, let me just think about it for a second, right? Like I said, no, so it was this. So it freaked me out how freaked out I was about no like Irish breakfast. And then it made me so aware of my stillness because I wanted home to meet me freshly served on a plate in Turkey. Like, I wanted Ireland to meet me on a plate. So I was like, oh my gosh, if it's raining again and the clothes are out, I'm gonna crash out. Anyway, I wanted home to meet me. And not only I expected that everywhere I go, home is gonna be there. I do not think that is a good mindset to have, you guys. I remember thinking to myself like, oh, we're not in Kansas anymore. And I didn't like that. I think I used to be a person who didn't mind unfamiliar territory, but now I don't like it. And now I don't even remember not fully remember being someone who didn't mind unfamiliarity. And you might be thinking, okay, like you're just, you know, you're so used to home. And listen, I forgot to make a disclaimer at the beginning of this video. I might just edit it in so it doesn't matter. But I need you guys to really understand and to know that I am not crapping on home at all. When I came back, I missed home. I was clean. I was like, oh my gosh, I missed the grass. I missed home so badly, right? But I had also become aware of something. Like I said, I had expected and demanded home to meet me in Turkey, or else I'll never feel safe. And of course, if you live like that long enough and you close yourself off to any sort of spontaneity in the world or a sense of unfamiliarity in your daily life, you're destined to a life of perpetual and worsening staleness at a deep soul level. So think like that and you'll never let anything new introduce itself to you. Not a new person, a new love, a new relationship, a new job, and certainly not a new country in my case. Turkey wants to introduce itself to me. I've never set foot on Turkey before. So Turkey wanted to introduce itself to me, right? And if I didn't even make a tiny little bit peace with the fact that I was not going to fully understand everything, and if I couldn't make peace with the unfamiliar, then I've made my bed with staleness. And I remember thinking, no, I'm not having no affair with stillness. I'm not sleeping with stillness. I don't want any of that, you guys. I said no. So this revelation ended up coming like literally the first day of Turkey, which already set the scene for what was going to happen for the next day. It was like a week and so. And thank God it did, because once I was ridiculously aware of my roboticness, my staleness, my stiffness, a stiffness that I am not naturally in. Like, I don't think I'm a naturally stiff person at all. I'm only a bit stiff now because I'm getting used to the camera. But so help me when that day comes very soon. I'm hoping next week. When that day comes, I wouldn't have a problem talking to you like this, just chatting off, you know. But I was like, I'm not going to be afraid like, oh, I don't know when I'll be in Turkey next. I'm coming back to Turkey. I'm coming back everywhere I want to go. But while I'm here, it doesn't have to be this bad. Like, girl, you are not going to be still in Turkey. And thank God that happened, because I ended up having such a wonderful, great week. And I thank Christ that he literally was like, he was like, This staleness, if you're not going to listen to me home, you're going to listen to me here. That is not who you are. That is not your portion. So we're going to stop that right now. And thank God that it happened, you guys.
We literally have nowhere where to go, no clue. This really sweet lady who does the lovely service lady, she gave us this thing. She said, don't go to a taxi, don't do this. Instead, go to the metro. So we're literally just gonna go on an adventure trying to figure out where the heck we are and how to get to where we're going, and I'm so excited.
Much better.
No, he said right, and then we're gonna go right here and then down. Oh my, wow, look at that. A film. Oh, Mom, they're shooting a film. I think, no.
I didn't expect a single thing from Tureky to happen. I didn't expect it to begin to actually thaw the numbness that I had been living around. Because when you're stale, you're also very numb, and you coast through life. You begin to live at like a default that's actually most people's minimum. I do not want to live like that, you guys. And surprisingly, even just being there for like a week-ish in Turkey really began to help. I was gonna say de-thaw, but that's not a word. I don't think so. But it really began to thaw some of my numbness. It was so quick how it was happening, and I am so glad that happened. Now, I want you guys to keep the word staleness in your mind. Keep it in the background of your mind, just as it was in the background of my whole trip. And we are going to get now into point 2. Okay. If point 1 was about Turkey tackling me with an epiphany, then oh boy, point 2 is about Turkey proving something to me that I kind of already knew to be true. Beauty is necessary at a soul level. And the littlest changes in architecture or effort put in environmental aesthetics, like places where actual people live, because I believe that effort needs to be put in the places where actual people live, truly can be and really was healing for the soul, at least my soul. And sometimes what we really just need is a bombardment of beauty. Like, you need to just be attacked by beauty, whether it's big or small. And the way that helped my soul was really insane.
I'm sorry.
Buongiorno signori, posso aiutare?
Try it.
You like it?
Oh my gosh.
Double try the coffee one. Without oil, without sugar, without gelatin. This is one what you make it after 3 days or 4 days.
But why is it sweet? Why is it sweet?
Honey. White honey.
Is white honey good?
And very healthy.
How much is it?
Yeah, I heard.
That's why 3,750.
Whoa. That's how the Turkish women stay young forever. It's coconut.
Oh, look at that. That is yummy. All made with black honey. White honey, sorry. With white honey. No sugar. Excuse me. I'm so happy to taste that. That's nice. Oh my people.
So luxury.
That is so luxury.
Thank you.
That's how it's.
Shout out to Turkish pistachio. Look at the vibrance of those colors.
All bestseller.
Tell me, mommy, what do you need? Oh, I feel like a royal.
Now, when we think about beauty today, right? I know me personally, it's like an F word. So when I hear the word beauty today, I feel drained, like deeply soulfully drained. I think about industry. I think about every other thing about what beauty actually was, because before beauty was about how you look, it's about something beyond divine. It's something divine, at least. And when I think about beauty today, I feel it's draining because it's become parasitic, right? The nature of beauty today is like, when that word comes up, you think about what you look like, what you don't look like, what you have, what you don't have, what you're lacking in beauty, what you have in beauty. Am I attracted to people? All this, that, and the third, which greatly narrows down what beauty is, because beauty is a divine concept. Beauty comes from the divine, and it is not supposed to be parasitic. And this is something that bothers the life out of me, because I didn't realize till I was in Turkey watching people who, by the way, like, we're gonna get to how people in Turkey are so nonchalantly attractive. It was actually a bit unhinged, but anyway, because I remembered, and Turkey proved to me that our relationship with beauty as humans is supposed to be like symbiotic, not parasitic. So symbiotic just basically means like where people mutually benefit from each other. And I would almost add like positively, you know, like on a good slant. Like not two corrupt people working together to traumatize nations, but more like, you know, people mutually like benefiting from each other. And as humans, we are supposed to have a symbiotic, harmonious relationship with beauty. Because I think about it like, you know, the concept of like life in art, like life imitates art, art imitates life, right? It's more of an equation that no matter how much you change the variables of life, art, and beauty, or life and art, beauty is always somewhere in the mix, right? So I remember going to Turkey and really thinking about the concept of like life and art. So in life, we eat, sleep, drink, dance, play, do all these wonderful things and have fun. And from these places, from going in life at the highest heights or suffering to the depth, like the darkest depths, we create art from that. And then that art is hung up in the museum, or it's in the music, it's in our dance, it's in our food, right? And people ingest it, people take it in as this beauty. And from this art, we procure this beauty, and then we create more art. And then the art like begins to showcase more of life. And then we look at a picture, we think, wow, this picture is of someone living life. I want to do that in my real life. And then the cycle again begins, because from the art that someone created, somebody now feels like they can create more beautiful life. So it's art plus life is beauty. Art and like life and beauty is art. Beauty and life is art and beauty is life. And no matter what, this hallowed equation, the variables always remain the same. You cannot have life and art without beauty. It's bigger than like how you look or how you feel perceived by people. Art and beauty and beauty and beauty and beauty is a divine thing that I really think is sent from God to heal. And I didn't realize how much I drowned in like a lack, like a beauty drought. I didn't know how much I drowned in it until I became so acutely aware of where I was at. Because usually I'm just going through the day, and side note again, I am not like talking badly about home. I'm not crapping on home like, the grass is so bad here. No, I missed the grass. I missed it greatly. I just felt like my soul was reminded that you need beauty. You need to be bombarded by beauty. You need to be like struck by it, right? You need to see it. You need to showcase it. You need to be around it. Not to be like, oh, I lack this, but to remind ourselves that beauty also comes from us. And Turkey really, really provided. In Turkey, I was surrounded by beauty, especially the people. I didn't really record them, but I'm telling you guys, you know, the people were in Turkey just casually beautiful. Like the face cards of the hijabi girls or like the non-hijabi girls, everybody was beautiful. It was insane. I think so anyway. I thought they were very lovely and gorgeous. And as I was walking around the crowds, I didn't feel left out. I didn't feel left out or beyond anything. I didn't really feel to prove anything, right? I subliminally became acutely aware of the beauty. Right? The bombarding was strong but not draining. I began to notice the littlest details of the beauty, right? beauty in the architecture, beauty in structures, beauty in the buildings. Like, I became so aware of how they build things. And I have never been someone who was big in architecture. I couldn't tell you, like, this is classical, this is Gothic. I just knew, oh wow, this building has my attention for some reason. And so people always say the devil is in the details. Maybe so. But so is God, so is Jesus, and I believe he is far more powerful. And I think because he understood the state of my soul, which was stale and brittle, he knows you're someone that you really like the littlest things. Like, the littlest things bring you beauty and bring you joy. And so I think he proved it to me that it was something that worked in favor for my soul. Because again, like I said, beauty was all around me, even at like a tiny scale. So the idiosyncrasies of beauty hit me at every corner. I began to pay attention to ceilings, the shapes of things, geometry, color, patterns, surrounding buildings. It was too much, but lovely. It was a case where my beauty was not trying to compete with other people. I could just admit that I was just another beautiful thing in a beautiful place. Beauty, beauty, beauty. It was heavenly. It was divine. You guys are going to feel like perturbed because I keep using that word so much. But to be less stale, you oftentimes need to go into environments that are pretty, or in Turkey's case, I called it like nonchalantly beautiful, which, by the way, I'm not dealing with nonchalance. Like, I'm a chalant people. I'm not a nonchalant person, right? But it was the only nonchalance that I was just reveling in with beauty, right? And yeah, like I said here, I needed to be surrounded by beauty, not like nonchalant beauty. I'm really advocating for making the places where people live more pretty. It might not always be functional, but when we have pretty things and buildings to look at, we absorb it. I felt like I was absorbing the little tiny, like the arches in the doors or the tiny patterns. I was absorbing the gorgeousness that I got from that, and in turn, I was pouring it back out. If you don't live in a place where your beauty is prioritized, or if not prioritized, at least a priority, it'll be so normal that every bad day feels worse because everything's ugly, everything's gray. And Turkey really taught me that. Like I said, I began to be like, wonder like, oh, this is a nice circular ceilings. That's so interesting. Like they have them, of course, here in Ireland, and they're gorgeous, right? I don't see them a lot, you know. Or, wow, this store has an arch instead of just being rectangular. And I'm thinking, I don't really care for shapes. All of a sudden, I was trying to figure out, oh, there's a shape there. That's a color there. Oh, that's maroon. What a color. This, that, and third. Da-da-da, right?
You're okay.
And like I said, and I'm going to show in the video later on, the Turks definitely took pride in like the beauty of the country, and it shows. It really does show, right? But low-key, living in places that are low-key lovely / nonchalantly beautiful, it soothes the soul that has been still and stiff. Because again, I'm absorbing all this beauty, and it feels like it makes my soul more mellow. And it can help invigorate dulled senses and a great view of the world. And cats. Do not let me forget about the cats. Were everywhere. It was like cat central city. Everywhere we turned, there was a cat. And to be very honest, I actually really liked it, which is really odd because all my life I always prided myself on being a non-cat person. Even though when I was younger, my favorite animal was the tiger, but I was like, it's just like a big dog who's just very prissy. But all my life I've just been like not a cat person. But as we were walking through the streets of Istanbul, everywhere we turned there was a cat somewhere, and other people were taking pictures too, which just proved to me like this is not normal because this did not typically happen back home. And I actually remember asking one of the bazaar workers, because we went to this like spice bazaar, and he said actually the thing about the cats is that first of all they just move around in like the shops and things having a good time. But the man was like, oh, actually, the cats help us because the cats keep the mice off the road. Like, we never saw a mouse or anything. And as a result, like, you know, we feed them and they keep the cats keep the mice off the street. So I was thinking like, well, there's another form of like symbiosis, a symbiotic relationship. The cats get to be petted and recorded by the people and fed, and in return they just eat and they kill the pests, and then they get rewarded for it. But both parties are receiving something, because again, I'm not a cat person, but I have such a need to like pet them, which I didn't do because I don't know where they've been. But there was something really healing about cats being everywhere, which has never happened to me before. So I think I'm in enemy territory. Well, I think I'm enjoying enemy territory because I might grow up to be like a cat lover. So I don't know, is that something to pray for or no? I'm joking. Yeah, so I liked it. I liked having felines around. It just felt so like, it felt so lady, you know? So yeah, to the cats. Istanbul is a cat city and I'm here for it. So to recap, point 2 was about what Turkey proved to me, which is that beauty is necessary for the soul. It's not shallow. It's not artificial. Do not let people take from you your sense of beauty, and don't narrow it down just to what you look like and how to appease it to people. And that was so necessary for me because as I was walking around in beautiful things that didn't ask for permission, I didn't need to ask for permission. And so with that recap being said, we are going to move now into the third thing that my soul made me aware of and that Turkey kind of brought me awareness to. So Turkey tackled me, Turkey proved something for me, and then point 3 is what Turkey reminded me of that I had forgotten. People are still living their lives. Actual people are living actual lives. Actual people are living actual lives. I have to put my glasses on because I'm a bit ashamed. So people are still living their lives, actually living real lives of anything, amidst the staleness wreaking havoc within mine. So one thing I noticed in in Turkey, was that people were eating, drinking, having coffees and cappuccinos at like 8 p.m. Cafes, not like restaurants and pubs, cafes were open late. Whether it was just for that week, in general, I don't know. But I just have not seen that before, where there's like cafes and cappuccino at 9 p.m. as the sun is setting. There's a sunset there and people are having these delicious, wonderful cappuccinos. And I was just thinking to myself, like, I do not think for a second that they give a damn about being a main character or side character or whatever. They are purely living actual lives. And they are no different than me. I have not been living because number one, I've been stale, right? Number two, I have been drowning is ridiculous, but drowning in the drought of beauty. And a part of it is also on my end. I don't make effort to go out to beautiful places, and I've just been stale and numb. And as a result, I'm not living a life. People were living life. That was the thing, you guys, that just completely set my mind off. Actually, I think I crashed out internally because I realized how much of it was my fault. Turkey reminded me, and I'm going to read an excerpt from my holiday manifesto. Turkey reminded me that I have a permission to be a person. It was a reminder that on most days, every day, my only job is to at least live and make it to the end of the day. To find something to eat, and in this case, as a tourist, to walk around in a foreign city as a whimsical, fun tourist.
Sorry?
One lovely thing to remember when you're out there trying to live your own life is that there are people out there trying to live their life as well. And because they recognize that you are doing the same thing, they will help you. Do not underestimate how often people actually want to help you. I know the world seems worse than it looks really bad, and I might not have as much life experience as other people who can quote with their experiences that life really is that bad. But most times people are really trying to live their life and get through the day. And when they see you trying to do that as well, it's not a conscious choice to help you. Most times it's just pretty normal, right? I'll give you an example. So I think the day of us getting there, I remember praying, going down my knees, and I was praying. I was like, Lord Jesus, I've heard some things about being careful not to get scammed, and that's the same in any country. You don't want to you can get scammed at home as well, so it's not just Turkey. But I've heard some things and I don't really know. I prayed, Jesus Christ, I said, please show up to us in the form of an angel or someone to guide us and help us, because they can tell we're foreigners and it's easy for us to get scammed. We thought it was a scam to take a taxi anywhere. We don't want to take a taxi. So Jesus, please show up for us in the form of an angel, whatever, and please guide us, you guys. And literally, that answer was prayer. That prayer was answered the next day when we took our first excursion out into the sea. Check out this video. Well, these videos.
From the Karaköy to Taksim, a lot of people are moving, but there was a hill. It was difficult. They constructed, the French guy constructed this, and I think it's 50 years later, he gave back to the government. This is the history of the metro.
Okay, so we take now the next stop, we go out.
Oh my god. Everything is slanted.
And this one is at the top.
Okay.
So, 200 years ago, it was a really good engineering.
Yeah.
Because when it comes down, the other one goes up. And in the middle, you will see the other one.
I hope. Very interesting. It's like that.
Yes.
But the Paris one is more longer.
More long.
They are too long. Too many wagons.
This is maybe the fathers of them.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Very old.
Yeah.
Guys, that's literally a whole hill. I'm not joking. We went down this hill. And this man, he was so sweet, and he was explaining to us the history, and the Turkish is so strong and so smart. Shout out to the Turkish, y'all. You guys got it.
Yes, I will show you.
Thank you so
We're not wasting your time.
time.
We are not taking your time.
Basically set us up for the entire week. Because of him, we got a Metro card, and we had to top up, add money to it often, but we still felt like it was a better choice because you can just do the Metro card as often as you want. And what I loved about him was like, he was so proud of his country. He was telling us facts about like the metro, and this is the first or the second metro in Europe or in the world, and that was a really big deal. And he was just a normal man, a very nice, lovely, normal man. And he took the time to not only show us how to do the metro card, but he helped us get around, and he told us history. He wasn't consumed with being a main character or side character. He was on his way to something, because we could tell that he was on his way and he was kind of in a rush. And still, he decided to help a bunch of strangers and tourists out. And he told us some very interesting Turkish things about their culture. Because people are living their lives. Real people are living real lives. Real people are not concerned about the rubbish of like everyday humanity. Which is why I said, making a video about reminding people that you're a human being and that people should not make fun of you for what humans tend to do. Like, I don't know, going to the bathroom. You know, like little stupid things like that. Do not let people make fun of you for that. Because who is going to make fun of you like that except AI? Sometimes you have to ask someone, have you ever taken a dump before? Like, you're not going to take a dump in their living room. But you know what I mean? Like, I can't think of examples right now. But if you go around listening to people's jokes, the jokes basically fall on you doing something a human being does and maybe error, or seeing humanity inherently as an error, which that's a whole lot of, I was gonna cuss, thank you Jesus. It was a whole lot of nonsense. That is not true, right? So whether you are trying and you're living your mundane life, or you're climbing Mount Everest as a marvelous life, you are living life because you are a real human being in it. Whether you feel fulfilled in life or not, you are actually living a real life. And I think that reminder also brought back a bit of my natural whimsy and aloofness, especially being a tourist, you guys, because the essence of tourism is actually quite aloof and whimsical in its nature, if you think about it, because all that I'm doing is like walking around in a foreign town, not knowing anything. I have to hope and believe that things are going to go well, and I'm going to walk around and look at these things. I never felt more free that week when I was just walking around. Like, we would go out every day, and my sister would be like, so what are we doing today? You know, because she's a very efficient person. But me, the thought of having a specific plan was exhausting. I just wanted to walk past, like, in the streets. Now, it was daytime, and we walked in the alleyways, but there were just really big roads in the sides with different shops. I just wanted to walk around. I just wanted to people watch. I felt like it's a very sad state of a soul where you feel more fulfilled watching people than actually being a person. That is a sad state of a soul. And that's where I recognized I was at. And as we walked around the neighborhoods and people, I was just watching. Like, we went to a deli, and I wanted to see a Turkish deli. Like, just you pay for what you want and you buy a bunch of stuff to eat. Like it was like a Turkish cafeteria thing. I just loved, I didn't even want to eat. I just wanted to watch what is their everyday meal. What's their spuds? Like, what's for them their, like, bread and butter. I loved that idea. I loved walking into the bakery, man, and just watching them eat. I just, like, that's actually another point I forgot to add. Like, they put so much emphasis on beauty and beautiful places. Even their decoration was gorgeous. That was something that just, like, blew my mind. I was like, damn, you guys are really, really emphasizing beauty. And when you walk around in beautiful places, you just love being with the people. They were just so, like, you guys, I can't even begin to describe how fun it was in the heat. It was sweltering hot in the heat, you guys. But, like, people were fanning themselves and nobody was judging you for that. Ice cream was dropping on the floor, no one's judging you for that. People are picking at birds, nobody's judging you for that. People are walking in and out of mosques, holding hands, no one's judging you for that. Like, everybody was just living, you know? No matter how plugged in you are to the simulation of social media and online, thank God a lot of it has not bled into the real world. And that is something that we have to actively fight against. To keep my own whimsicality, for it to have come back, it was because I was people watching. And I reminded myself that, well, if they're gonna eat ice cream without caring what they look like, I can do that too. And I was slurping on that ice cream like it was nobody's business. Because I'm a person. I'm a real person trying to live a real life. Actually, you're not even trying. If you are a human being, you are living a life, whether you're fulfilled or not. And there is so much power. There's all power in that. Also, when we got there was this lovely, absolutely lovely angel. when I prayed for like God to help us, and that was the cleaning lady. She came in and we were kind of lost. We didn't know, like, do we get taxis to places, this, that, and the third. And the first angel we kind of met was that lady, and she told us, she said, no, like with her broken English, right? Because we didn't really understand each other because we had like terrible Turkish, you know, and she had better English than we had Turkish for sure. And she was going out of her way trying to explain it to us. She was like, oh, no, don't go to taxi, take metro. And she ran out, she took a piece of paper and she started to help us, and she wrote down like some things. And I think I have a picture of it, I don't know, but like that's another example that there's people more than willing to help you than you think. Because she saw that we wanted to go out and see the city, and she was like, oh, let me help these people. Make sure that they don't take a taxi, you know, and get scammed. And because of her, right? Because of her, we even knew to go to the metro station and to try and get a metro card. We didn't know metro cards existed. She told us about the metro card. And then we met that angel of a man who literally like helped us buy our metro card. So one angel guided us to another, right? That happens when you go out to live your life. And it doesn't mean you go out of your way to climb Mount Everest and an angel brings you there. It can be simply like you go out of your way to do your like grocery shopping. Because you're a human being. It just reminds yourself that you are a human, and that is enough for you to have an incredible and extraordinary life. And other people who are living their lives are going to see you and are going to want to help to live your life, to help you live your life. Don't ever let yourself be bogged down by the world only ever saying the world is worse and it's terrible. Because we were praying for angels, and angels are the kindness of strangers. And God delivered that. You can do that for someone else and have that done to you. Because of those two wonderful people, may God bless those lovely Turkish people. Our whole trip was set up to be great. We took the train everywhere. We took the metro everywhere. We went to the spice places, all that. And that was because of them. Because regardless of like language, even if we didn't understand each other, we understood that at our core we're humans wanting to have a good day and live our life. Don't let anyone make you feel like people have forgotten that. And do not become someone that forgets that. Okay, so just shout out to the lovely cleaning lady. Like, and please treat them well. I know it's their job to clean the hotels and stuff, but before you leave, try and clean as much as you can and give them an easier job to do if you can. You know, she was wonderful. She was gracious. She was incredible. Seriously, God bless her. Oh, man.
I don't know if you guys can hear that. Listen. And they get so excited when their like own music comes up and they just dancing. I've never been in, but I actually really like the sound of it when I'm sleeping. Surprisingly, it feels warm, and I just
never underestimate how much life it gives you watching people live life, right? For example, the hotel where we were staying at, there was like a nightclub really close by. As in, every night like clockwork, there would be like doom, 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 like club music playing, right? And at first I thought, man, how am I gonna sleep? I'm not gonna do anything. Like, I'm not gonna sleep in Turkey. What's up when I come to Turkey if I ain't gonna sleep? All that stupid stuff. And then, you guys, I started falling asleep to the nightclub. And when I would wake up in the night, I would actually feel rejuvenated. And I know exactly why. So one thing that I was noticing while I was eavesdropping, if you just saw the video, was that the Turkish people love their own music. They love their music down. They really were enjoying it. Like, the youth they would sing so loud that 16 voices or however many people were in the club that night would feel like one big wave, one big voice. You would put on a Turkish song, every time a song came up, they're like, ah! And to me, that was so much fun. Like, I was looking at them, I was listening to them, not even having been to a club, not even being a club person, and feeling like the life force come into me. I was like, yeah, whether they're in their 20s, 30s, whatever, they're in the club, they're like listening to music, and they were dancing. And they were one thing I noticed that there was only ever like one or two English songs playing. I did not hear an English song for ages, until the only song I heard was like the Barbie girl song. You know, like, I'm a Barbie girl in a Barbie world. Like, that was the only English song that was happening. And they were dancing to it in the air. But when a Turkish one came out, they were like, rah, rah, rah. And like that touched me in my soul, because I was like, damn, they don't give a damn about being main character, side character. They're just living your life, guys. And to me, it really put me in a place of like, what the heck am I doing, you know?